Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up, doing well. Got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So today I want to answer a question that was brought up that I get sometimes, and then that was just kind of recently brought up to one of our kids coaches, and that is how do I help or get my child to be more aggressive in Jiu Jitsu? Okay, so this is mainly talking to the parents, but it could be for anyone that does jiu-jitsu that doesn't, is a little passive. It doesn't really have that aggressiveness in them yet in jiu-jitsu that they see maybe in other kids or other teammates that are on the mat. The answer that I always give is always going to be the same. And that's why I wanted to share it, is that each individual child, and or person that trains jiu-jitsu is different, okay? And having my own academy and teaching kids classes and stuff like that for over 13 years and training jiu-jitsu for over 20 years, I've seen everything, okay? I've seen patterns. I'm a very observant person. I like to people watch. I like to study body languages and just all of that stuff. Like, I'm intrigued by it, like wherever I go. So doing jiu-jitsu and teaching jiu-jitsu, I get to see that on a daily basis with a wide array of just different individuals. Okay, so when it comes to jiu-jitsu, it's just either you have it in you in the beginning or you don't. Okay, and over time, if you don't have it in you in the beginning, it will eventually come out. Okay, it will eventually, jiu-jitsu will pull what we call, you hear that phrase, like the dog in you, so to speak, out of you. Okay, it will, because what I've seen in the past with kids, or just individual, like adult students or teens, that don't really have that fight in them in the beginning, or they're not really aggressive. Some kids, they come in and they play football, basketball, soccer, maybe they boxed or did some wrestled before or something like that. So they kind of have that in them. And then some kids, they come to class, jiu-jitsu program, and they've never done anything like that before. Or they've just been taught, like you should, to treat people with respect, treat people good, be nice to people, and then all of a sudden you got to come to jiu-jitsu class and you're being taught to, or instructed to, wrestle someone to the ground and armbar them, choke them, dominate them, put pressure on them, make yourself heavy on them. And it just doesn't really, it's a conflict of thought processes that what goes on in a child's mind, or an adult for that matter. And so it doesn't really happen right away, okay? And what I've seen over time is those individuals, okay, those kids or those adults or those teens that kind of struggle with that in the beginning, if they stick with it long enough, if the parents don't pull the kids out too early and they allow the child to develop through jiu-jitsu, that fight, that dog will come out of that child in that individual in a good way. Not like, because, jiu-jitsu martial arts is to prevent bullying and to, produce, better individuals in the community, that kind of thing. And we're not trying to produce bullies, but at the same time, in order for you to defend yourself, you have to have that little bit of a dog animal in you. You see when I post my pictures, you'll see a gorilla or a shark or like an alligator or some type of animal that eats, because that's what we're doing. That's what jiu-jitsu people refer to other people on the mat like as sharks. You're on the mat with a bunch of sharks. You're on the mat with a bunch of a beast today. There's you look around the room and you're trying to pick a teammate, a training partner, and there's nowhere to run, because everywhere you go, like it's a beast that you're getting ready, that you have to train with. And so over time, that will come to fruition. It will come out of those individuals, because eventually, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like I'm tired of just letting things happen to me. I'm tired of letting these individuals just beat on me and choke me and armbar me and dominate me and mount me and take my back and do all these things to where eventually you'll start fighting back. Okay. I've had quite a few kids where literally it's taken like a whole year, okay, a whole year, or if not a little longer, before that came out of them. You know, I've had some kids where in the kids program where like they cried all the time, they had snot coming out of their nose, their cheeks are all red, it's just rough because they just either one, it just, you know, some of the techniques just don't click, or they just don't have that fight in them in the beginning. But I got some kids in the back of my mind in the mental Rolodex there that I'll never forget that I've seen, and adults, seen after about a year or so, like they just started taking it to everyone that used to just give them the business. Now they're giving the other kids or the other teammates the business, not in a malicious manner, in a bad way, but in a good way. You know, like basically, like you're sticking up for yourself now. Like that's what jiu-jitsu is supposed to do. And unfortunately, especially when you're a parent, it's hard to watch your child go through that process because you want your kid to like stick up for themselves. You want your kid to defend themselves and do what you see the other kids are doing, or an adult who's like, I want to be able to do what they're doing. And I just coming to class and getting beat on all the time. And it's tough to watch, okay? Whether you're a parent that gets to sit on the side of a mat, like in some academies where you got chairs right there and you're up close and you get to see that. But like in our academy, there's a wall there and you got to look through a screen because we don't allow parents in the parents area because they get in the way with the instruction too much. It's very, very hard to watch your child go through that, okay? But if you allow the process to happen, if you allow your child to work through these things, just like anything in life, that's why I'm always telling my students and the parents, like it's a direct correlation of life. Like if you just baby someone too much and you try to pamper them too much, or you try to protect them too much, when the world comes to get them, when they get older, they're not going to know how to react to those things because they're going to be looking for mommy and daddy to come and save them. And at some point, mommy and daddy can't save you. And so if the parents, or if you are an adult and you're watching this and you're 6 months in or 8 months into jiu-jitsu, a year into jiu-jitsu, and you're not really seeing, you're not able to do what you in your mind, what you would like to do for it to happen, it's going to happen. Okay, it's going to click. You just don't know when it's going to click. You can't really make that happen. Like for an adult or a parent to come up to us and say, how do I make my child more aggressive? You can encourage them. Hey, you know, try a little harder, you know, try to, you know, whatever, try to hip escape faster, try to, you know, defend the takedown better, you know, put your hips in. You can give all the instructions that you want, like we do. Okay, we have numerous coaches on the mat to help with the kids. And we're constantly giving instructions. Do this, do that, you know, take your left hand, do this, push here, push there. But the kids just won't do it. They just won't do it. And some kids, when they come in, man, they're just naturals. They just get it. They're aggressive. They're rough. They'll take a kid by the head and they'll wrestle him to the ground. They'll pick a kid up and boom. And your eyes get big as coaches, like, whoa, look at this kid, man. This kid just started and they're just beast, you know, like it's insane. And the other coaches will look at each other and catch eye contact and just like amazement of what some kids are able to come in and do. And for other parents that they want their kids to do the same thing and their kids aren't doing that, it's discouraging, okay? And then the first gut reaction is like, well, maybe my kid isn't cut out for this, or maybe we should go try something else. And that's the wrong reaction, because in other sports, if your kid isn't good enough, they're going to ride the bench. They're going to sit the bench. They're going to be the water bottle person, okay? Getting towels and Gatorade for other people. But in jiu-jitsu, everyone plays. Everyone plays in jiu-jitsu. Everyone's rolling, okay? No one sits out, okay? Unless their behavior in kids' class is just not where it's supposed to be. Then they're sitting out. But besides that, everyone's playing the game. So over time, when you're playing this game, things will develop. The mindset will change. Things will start to come out of an individual. Like I said, not in a bad way, but in a good way, to where that's what you're waiting for. But parents have to wait for it. For some individual kids, it just takes time. You know, I was talking to one of the parents yesterday, like about actually two of their kids, and one of the kids, now that they're older, they've been in my program for like 7 years. One of the kids goofed around a lot, like didn't take it serious, was always playing and goofy and just like a class clown kind of thing. And now they're older, they got like a little mustache growing, and they're like, I don't know, 14. And maybe I think they started when they were like 7 years old, and they're beast. Like he's getting it now. Like he's aggressive, and he doesn't, I don't gotta call his name all the time and hey, cut it out, or hey, pay attention, and hey this and hey that, and you know, whatever. They're focused. They're getting it. They're aggressive. They're winning their matches. They're a completely different kid than they were when they first started. Okay, and sometimes some of the jerk reaction is like, well, I'm gonna go take them somewhere else to some other program. And what I've seen over the past, because I watch what I watch, I've seen other kids switch other schools in the same result. You see them at tournaments, you see the same thing. It's like been there a year, 2 years, and it's the exact same person. Okay, it's just they're not ready yet. They don't have that in them yet, but it will happen if you allow it to happen. Okay, so parents out there that are a little discouraged, wherever you're training at, whether it's my academy or some other academy, and your kid is just super nice, super passive, doesn't have like an aggressive bone in their body yet, give it time. Give it time. It will happen. It's tough to watch. It's a tough road it's a tough process to go through, to watch your child, you know, like if they're crying on the mat and they're just, you know, you're just like, man, I just want to go out. You can't help them. Okay, then that's life. When you're at work and they're at school, like you can't help them. If they get bullied, you can't help them. They're going to get bullied, and it's up to you to give them the skill set that they need to protect themselves. And when that day happens, hopefully they'll have that skill set to be available to them so that they can defend themselves. And if you pull them out too soon and you go do something else, and you take them to swimming lessons, or you take them to horseback riding or something instead of jiu-jitsu class, because you just didn't see that they were progressing or they weren't fighting back like they should, when that day comes, okay, when the bully comes, because the bully will come, because everyone at some point gets bullied. You know, back in the day, we used to, I forgot what show it was, but it was the gooch. Okay, when I was a kid, it was the gooch. You know, maybe it was Different Strokes, something like that. But yeah, I think it was Different Strokes with Arnold and stuff like that. The gooch, okay? The gooch is coming. The gooch is waiting around the corner behind the locker somewhere, waiting to pick on your child. And if you do not give them the skill set that they need to handle the gooch, then they're going to be, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, and they're going to have a hard time dealing with life and people and all these things. And the same thing goes for the adults, for those ones that are a little bit, you know, if you're a weaker adult, you know, hit them weights a little bit, do some calisthenics, do some push-ups, some pull-ups, you know, do some ab exercises, you know, run a little bit, you know, get some strength behind some of those, you know, joints that you have, and build your body up a little bit, and you'll start to see a difference. It just takes time. Okay, so that's the message. Anytime I get that kind of question, well, how can I be more aggressive? How can I get my child to be more aggressive in jiu-jitsu? I'm not seeing any progress with that. Every individual is different. You can't force it. You can give them all the pep talks you want. You can give all the encouragement. You can offer to pay them money. Hey, if you go out there and get a takedown, I'll give you $20. That stuff doesn't even work that I've seen. Okay, it just takes time and encouragement and positive reinforcement. And just understand that if it's just, if you just have one of those kids that's what you're going through, just keep being positive and encouraging them, and keep working hard and tell them that you're proud of them. And eventually, you know, those things will happen, because I've seen it. I have not yet seen a kid out of all my years of teaching jiu-jitsu to kids and adults and teens to where it did not come out of them. I don't have any cases like that. And I'm talking thousands and thousands of cases of kids, teens, and adults that I've taught over 13 plus years plus being teammates with those individuals for over 20 years, I've never seen anyone go through the whole entire process of jiu-jitsu and then just suck. Okay, eventually, I have adults in the back of my mind right now, and I'll let you guys go, where, you know, you just have, I've seen individuals, they come in and they got the beards and the tattoos and they got the manliness, you know, and then I've seen other adults where they don't have the tattoos and the beards and they don't have that look of, you know, whatever the look is. I think you guys get my point. And they have that look of like they're going to get beat up, okay? And over time, I've seen the shyer, weaker, less confident individual in jiu-jitsu overtake the stronger, tattooed, bearded looking, whoever, you know, mean looking individual, and wrap them up and twist them up and tap them out, where before they used to just smash the other one for years. And then something clicked, something changed. The technique started coming together and the mindset started to come together and everything just started to just work. And it just blew my mind. Like, I'm like, man, I never thought I would see this person tap this person. Not like lucky or like, wow, that just, and then like just only happened once. Like, I'm talking like consistently over and over and over again, tapping the person that used to tap them. Grown men, okay? The weaker, less confident person tapping out the stronger, more confident person. It just, for whatever reason, however, it just happened. And that's why I love jiu-jitsu. I'm always amazed at what it brings out of people, what it can do for people, what it can do for kids and teens. It's amazing. You just got to give it time. All right, so I'll leave it there. I get up to the academy, try to get a little workout in real quick, and then time to teach and train. And I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. We'll see you.